what he needs to learn. So we are heading into Yansu. And here we are. We have in the bottom left of this two-player map, we have the blue Zerg from Team Non-Alliance. He is Jona. And in the top right, we have the red Protoss from Team Fnatic. He's Harstem, and we have slight pause here from Jona. Not quite sure what's going on, but I assume it to be nothing of serious matter. Okay. Yeah, okay. We're just gonna go.
Free, go.
Yeah, whatever. And well, we are once again on a two-player map, similar to something like Daedalus. And yeah, it seems Jona has used up most of his best strategies, almost, it seems. Of course, there's much more in his pocket, but it seems most of his play is kind of swarm house centered. So the question is, can he pull anything out of his hat, such as maybe more Baneling oriented style, Roach Hydra? Who knows?
Well, there of course are many strats that Zerg can do, such as Roach Hydra Viper, or he can even go for a Ling Muta style, or go for fast ultras, you know. There are a lot of strategies which are really good that you can do. So I hope he practiced more than one for his sake.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, it was making that cost him the game in even the previous couple of games. So I hope that mostly his state of mind, his mentality, is quite solid, and that's really the only thing I fear for Jona. For Harstem, I certainly do not, because I really think, and it's very clear to me that he's a very stable player, feeling confident enough to do the same opener again and again with the gateway-based opening.
Yeah.
Jona here taking the 14 hatch, if I'm correct. No,
but
15.
Of course, a gateway opening is really an accepted opening nowadays.
Of course it is, but sometimes you see players who will like to gamble it up. If they anticipate their opponent to go for a hatch first, they will open with a forge and try to perhaps do a responsive cannon rush.
Yeah, that's true, but yeah, I understand what you mean. Harstem doesn't feel the need to go for a forge first to pressure. Or he's like, whatever, you do what you want to do, I'm just going to win my way.
Yeah. Harstem building the second pylon on the low ground against something like a temple, that would be well, very hard to even save. And I do feel that Jona has, you know, I'm quite surprised he doesn't play more into the gateway openings of Harstem, because it is quite predictable at this stage.
Yeah, you can definitely say that. For example, a free hatch opening could be really wise to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just, I don't know. He also did a free hatch sometimes, so I guess look at that probe.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, the probe was microing his asshole.
Okay. It's quite cool. So yeah, finally the Nexus here goes down for Harstem, our Protoss player. Jona already moving a second Overlord into position, sees this expansion coming up, and should have a pretty good idea of what his opponent is doing. Of course, he hasn't been able to run in anything into the base to get a good scout off. And interestingly enough, at least to me, there's still no second gas here for Harstem, so I kind of wouldn't be surprised if he tries to do the same type of gateway pressure he did on Daedalus Point.
Yep. And this time circling speed is pretty well timed.
Yep.
I think the gateway timing will come when speedling is already finished.
And again, we have this beautiful movement from Jona, spreading his links out across the map, checking for proxies, and he should find this this probe, but I'm not sure if he does. I think this might be like his only blind spot so far.
Yeah.
There's one link here on the right, might be able to spot it, and it is shift queued towards it. So 4 gates actually on the way here for Harstem. So this will definitely be this aggression, and he does spot the link.
Yeah, and it's, you know what's difficult for the Zerg player?
Oh, Jukes! Mad Jukes here coming from coming from Harstem, and the probe seems to have escaped and will now be building the pylon.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's actually crazy. He now sees the mothership core go out on the map, and he might even spot the zealot. And he's already got 20 links on their way, so he definitely knows what's going on.
Yeah, and speed is finished, so if he does properly, and warp gate's not even finished, so for sure he can cancel the pylon.
Oh, you should see it.
Yeah.
He sees the pylon, and he's going to make a mad dive for it.
He's totally fine.
Yeah,
totally fine.
This aggression has already been held off.
Yeah.
Actually.
So okay, what's going on? Harstem has no tech at all. He thwarted this attack with no effort. Okay, of course he made these links, but that's going to give him total map control.
Yep.
If I was Jona, I would definitely expand at least once or even twice.
Yeah.
Like
does so.
Harstem cannot attack for another few minutes, so double expanding is definitely advised. Um, yeah, he's expanding once right now, adding overlords, who's bad supply block.
Yeah. He
Um,
does spot the double gas that's being added on in the natural of Harstem. So there's also a robot on the way, so the obvious point here seems to be that Harstem will be going for the Immortal Sentry.
Yeah, and he is. And this is another situation where I feel like Jona should read it. Like, he is able to double expand, you know?
Yes.
He is able to do that. And he's not, you know? He's not taking full advantage of the situation here. And he's not upgrading to a lair either. So it's not like he's gonna get a quick Hydra follow-up or a Muta follow-up. Or
Yeah.
He
Seems hesitant.
Yeah, it seems like he's a little bit of a
You know,
sitting duck.
he's banking a lot of minerals. He could be doing something. Now he throws down a Roach Warren, which is kind of an unnecessary move at this point in the game, even though getting roaches is good. But you know, roaches are good if you have to hold off something early in the game. But I think something more tech-oriented or economy-oriented would be a lot smarter here.
Yeah.
And Harstem is already forced down a path. He adds on 3 gateways, and we have an Overlord heading straight towards them. And he might just get the scout off. Yes, you see 1, 2, 3. He knows what's up.
Yeah, this is really good scouting for Jona. This is of course something that he did really well. We cannot complain about that for sure. Now the Roach Warren suddenly comes in handy. He needs to start producing roaches right away.
And he needs creep spread.
He needs more creep spread, and he needs to make spine crawlers. And those are all things that for some reason he is reluctant to do in previous games.
Yeah. Now one spine being added on, he runs into the army of Harstem. And
he's got the money, you know.
yeah.
He has every resource available to him to defend this.
Oh, this might be a very risky move here by Jona. Might get force fielded in if he isn't careful, but he dances the dance of death.
He's just delaying.
Yeah.
But still, he needs to get the injects rolling and the unit production rolling.
Yeah. Looking at the income, we see that Jona is quite far ahead of Harstem, but it's not the most dramatic difference. There's only 50 drones on the map here for Jona.
Road speed just started. It's gonna take another 100 seconds. Harstem is starting to move out.
Yeah. And
this is a good delay, by the way, by Jona.
yeah, he picks off a sentry.
Oh.
He'll get force fielded in. That's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, 4 links is no problem. But
I really have to emphasize here how hard this can be for Zerg players to hold, even if it is completely imperfectly scouted, especially on Yunsu. He's already giving a lot of ground into Harstem, and I think the position that Harstem has taken here, it's almost impossible here for Jona to hold in. He gets forced. Oh, actually escapes with the links. Very good trade there with the energy for just one signal circling, and road speed is close to finishing. I like the addition of additional queens. He does need creep spread,
yeah,
but
queens are so good for defense.
he needs to pick off the War Prism as well, because he will be starting to pick off all of those immortals into the War Prism, and this fight is actually not going all the way for Jona. Only half his army is fighting here.
Yeah, this looks like the Soul Train is at work again.
Yeah, and once again the sentries here at the ramp. There's actually a lot of zealots already dying. There's still quite a few roaches left.
This is actually not going that bad.
No, he isn't. He's actually pushing it back along with those queens. If you could just pull back one more time and wait for his next wave of injects to finish,
okay,
might
there's like
be in good
one
shape.
force field left.
Yeah, and now the links are getting close by, and the roaches are closing distance as well, and Harstem seems to be having a hard time here.
There's only 2 zealots left. I think what he should do right now is reinforce with more queens and links, and then surround the army, because he doesn't have a recall either, right? So, yeah, now he's reinforcing with the sellouts. That's a good decision for Harstem.
Very dicey here. The spine crawler finishes,
he
but
needs
we
to
will be
come
going
from behind to make a good concave, you know?
He does.
Use your precision to your advantage, you know?
He
Get the pylons from behind.
He has a good army. His drone count is almost equal to his own opponent's army count, though.
Yeah, but do you also see he's keeping roaches in the main because he's scared that Harstem's gonna pick up units?
Yeah.
So that's another possibility. Yeah, he's thinking in advance, which is good, but it's so difficult for a Zerg.
Oh, it is. Roaches from the high ground now definitely helping taking down the shields. So important that Jona doesn't overcommit, and he does force out a lot of force fields. And Harstem is, you know, he's not dead by any chance. He's already gone up to, what is this, 11 zealots. Without upgrades I have to add. And yeah, there comes the pickup, and he tries to... actually, the queens are really well positioned here, holding off this War Prism.
Yeah, he needs to creep spread that ramp right now.
Yeah, he absolutely has to. Yeah, he has enough queens here at the front to do it, but he seems almost reluctant.
Yeah, he's doing other stuff, but... he also doesn't have a lot of gas, so he either needs to reinforce with queens or spines, or but just do something. Use your money, you know?
the biggest problem here, almost for both players, is that they are force field. Oh, that they are supply blocked, and the force fields go in, but there's actually enough support here from the high ground. Doesn't want to get force field up against the edge though. This is a very weird exchange almost.
Yeah, you don't see this all that too often.
No. Harstem has simply just been producing units all day.
It's so dangerous for Jona, because if Harstem walks forward and blocks the ramp with one force field, okay, now the situation is different.
He needs to creep spread the ramp. Like
He also really needs to come from behind,
Yeah.
you know, walk around and squash him like an insect, you know.
This has happened before, like the long drawn out stalemate of this army on this exact same map in the exact same position. I've seen it happen so often in GSL as well, and there's quite a lot of force fields. But now Hydras are being added on, and I feel that's a really crucial move here for Jona to make. Even though something like a good, good amount of upgrades will also help him a lot. He's only mining gas out of 3 geysers, by the way. Oh, actually 4. This was some of his thirds. And Harstem is now moving down the ramp, and will this be good force fields? Army gets force field, he doesn't want to farm it. Oh, this is a huge mistake here by Jona by fighting here at this part of the ramp. Half of his army getting force fielded off, and taking the fight in a very sloppy manner.
Such a good fight for Harstem. This is insane.
Yeah, and Harstem using the in-game map editor to his advantage to be able to get a lot of damage done here.
He's got 5 immortals, man.
Yeah, I know. Like this is what we see in GSL as well. As long as you keep those immortals alive, your all-in is still going.
And this is also the situation when what I talked about the first game. Harstem doesn't need to attack. Like the longer he waits, the more advantageous it is for him, because the quality of the army is so much bigger than Roach Gling, you know.
Yeah.
And of course the addition of Hydras is good, but he only has like 6, you know. They're not gonna make the difference.
Yeah.
Harstem has 19 sentries.
Yeah,
so he can force feed all day. He can make circles or hearts or whatever he wants.
Indeed. The question is, will he just shove himself up the ramp, or will he just be like, no, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna take a third and just continue while I.
At this point, he can do anything.
Yeah, he really can.
And Jona is at 1,000 minerals. You know, he could have worked his macro a little bit better.
Yeah, there's no queen in the main anymore, so he's short on. Actually, has larva.
Of course, it's easy for us to talk like this, but there's another thing, like he didn't make a macro hedge, which you should always do at around the 8-minute mark against in CVP. He didn't make any upgrades.
The game has entered a bit of an awkward phase. You see the Ling here being killed, along with probes being sent there, so yeah, Jona definitely knows that there's a third on the way, and this triggers apparently some sort of move out, but if he's not careful, he'll get caught and force fielded like he just now. And there's so much stuff here from the Protoss, really.
Yeah, we can safely say there's too much stuff.
I'm just gonna hold Alt so we don't all get, because you don't see anything because of the freaking force.
He's just force fielding for fun.
So yeah, Harstem in a almost victorious position is now tackling up and adding on Colossus, adding on the thermal lance, and like you said, he doesn't have to attack. He can just sit there.
He doesn't have to attack. It's that simple.
And Jona is sitting here on on full trigger alert.
Yeah, Jona cannot make a tech switch because he's under too much pressure. That's the beauty of CVP.
He's getting hive though. I'm not sure why. I mean, something like swarm hosts might help.
Yeah, or maybe even blinding cloud. You know, whatever. It's the army of Harstem, of course, is really clumped up.
Yeah.
So blinding cloud could be really good.
Same for fungals.
Or fungals.
But I think blinding 6 immortals here, and he's gonna make another move on the third. And I think this could be game ending because Jona is moving his entire army in here. But there are just so many force fields. How can he possibly expect to win against it?
Also see the food difference. It's like 60.
He's not only more cost efficient, but he just has more stuff. And now there's a Colossus, and the game changes once again. And Harstem actually pretty decent surrounded by Jona, but he has force fields, and his army is invalid.
Oh
my god, so much damage coming out. And the sentries, of course, are not the best fighter in this army, but the additional warp in. And GG from Jona, Fnatic Harstem is on match.